Alrighty, welcome everybody. You guys excited? A little excited, a little sad. Mixed emotions.
I have no time to be sad right now,
John. A little nervous.
There's only excitement. When I say excitement, I mean nervousness. I'm throw up a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, you guys weren't as chatty this morning. It's very interesting. When there's something looming that you're thinking about or studying.
All right, let's come together on purpose. Ground the sit bones, stack the spine, close the eyes. We'll share in the breath. Take a long inhale and a long exhale. And sit up a little taller. And feel the feelings that you have right now. Just notice literally the frequency in which you're vibrating. Hold to it if it's going to serve you. And if not, come into a way of being that will. Bring your hands to heart center, prayer position. And let's join our voices to create one voice, one sound of Om. Take a big inhale. Relax and open your eyes. All right.
Right.
We are.
So what do you guys want to do?
Yeah. It's kind of like a free
what kind of party you guys want to have today?
Well, we got to get business done, and then we'll do party later. First, I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that this teacher training was unlike any other. For lots of reasons, but because of that, because of the craziness we went through this year, and the fact that you guys are all still here, and we started out with I think there was 37 of us, and I think we're down to 20, something like that. It was, and we get it from our side. It's when life gets crazy. And life doesn't just get crazy for teacher training, it gets crazy in our lives, right? Everything has been shifted and thrown around, and jobs and family and all types of just insanity, right? Stuff you could not have planned for a year ago. And really what we want to acknowledge is the fact that you guys are here. Right? Here we are the last weekend, and you guys are still here, meaning with all of the craziness that life threw at you, you said, no, I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to drive through. I'm going to push through. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to make sure that I get to the end of this experience because I started it, and I'm going to see it to the end, which takes a warrior spirit. It takes a higher level of determination, a higher level of literally grit to be able to have life sweep you all over the place. The uncertainty of where we're going to go, what's going to happen, and to just continually stick it out, show up weekend after weekend after weekend, and make this a priority in your life. It's powerful. Chris and I haven't seen this. Right? We haven't had this experience. We haven't seen a group of people. We weren't sure when this all went down if this was even going to still happen, right? If we were going to still be able to do it and still be able to move through it and get to this weekend, get to the end of it. So we want to start by just acknowledging your strength, your determination, your power, your commitment. It's humbling and just beautiful to see. So thank you guys. I think a round of applause for you guys is important.
We knew you were coming, Marianne. Zoomers, Marianne just walked in right as we were giving applause. We're all so excited to see you.
Everyone's just thrilled. So thank you guys. Thank you for sticking it out with us, and you know, there was a point where Chris and I, again, like I said, Chris and I were like, we're not sure if this is going to last. We're going to be able to keep doing this. We're going to do it. But we got to a point after a lot of discussion to say, no, we're just going to keep doing it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if you guys keep showing up. We'll stick it out. If there's just one of you left to the very end, we'll stick it out and keep doing it. So, so thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Like, so last year, this time is when you all were either thinking of it or had already signed up for this. And here we are a year later on the final weekend, right? And like John said, like, it wasn't just a normal teacher training, you know, like we showed up one weekend a month and then life went on as normal. It was like you guys were throwing some huge curveballs. And so the fact that you're here is really, really awesome. But isn't it cool? Like, there's these little time stamps that you have, like signing up for something and then finishing it. And we have this weekend to kind of reflect on the experience that it was, all of the craziness of it, but also to celebrate in the fact that, man, you did it. You're here. I will say everyone across the board, I think we're up to like 30 teacher trainings that we've done. 200-hour teacher trainings on top of that, 300 hours and little 50-hour stuff here and there. Everyone who showed up the way you guys have all graduated. So if you're freaked out, a little nervous right now about what's about to happen, know that everyone who has showed up today on this final day and has made it throughout the whole training has passed because they've done the work. And so you all have done the work. If you're nervous, it's because you want to do well. And so you will do well. How this weekend is going to unroll is we're going to get right to the written test. It's the same stuff you guys have done 100 times at this point. And then because we want to get all of the stuff that's freaking you out of the way soon so that you can relax for the rest, as much of this weekend as possible. So we're going to do the written one immediately, like right now after I stop talking. And then we're going to meditate to calm you down a little bit. And then we're going to split you up and you're going to do the teaching part of it. Cool? I do have a bone to pick because I'm not sure how we got kicked out of our own Facebook group online. And then Peggy was like, yeah, you guys got kicked out of the Facebook group that you're in. Anyway, some of you know about it, some of you don't know about it, but I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, oh, we got kicked out of our own shit. Like, we developed that thing. So anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Slowly losing control.
Any questions before we get started? Comments?
Let's acknowledge you guys for no, let's do it because I know some other teaching training that I thought I was going to go into, and I kind of thank God I didn't because they all fell apart. And what you guys did is that you made a commitment, and you made it work, and you made it work not only us teacher trainers, but your students at you guys really with the Zoom and keeping us up to date, and you guys made it happen. So thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's okay.
It took something.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's even harder when I'm dragging this dude behind me. You know?
I mostly want a nap. I mean, that's really my priorities. So.
All right, everyone ready? So Zoomers, when you're writing this, I'm going to type my email address in it and just write it in an email, the test that we're about to take, and then just send it to me. Cool? That's the easiest way to do this. Okay.
All righty. So pull out something to write on, something to write with. Closing all manuals.
Yeah, real quick, Elizabeth said, I so appreciate that we pushed through as a group. This training was an anchor for me. And then Melanie, yeah, I totally agree with Elizabeth. And then, so we should type out our answers. Yeah, Melanie, if you could type out your answers, that'd be the best, easiest way to do it. Unless you want to write it out and then snail mail it to me.
They could, if you want to write it and then take a picture.
Oh yeah, if you want, that's actually true. If you wanted to write it, take a picture and send that to me. But I don't know. I think it's easier to type it out. If you're not a typer and that's going to take you like 1,000 years, then write it out and send pictures to me. I'll take any of them. Okay, cool. Here's my email address.
So the quote unquote test is it's stuff it's all the quizzes that we've done with you guys. So there should not be any surprises. And part of the homework was we gave you exactly what it's going to be. So
I'll type what he's going to say in the chat for everybody.
And you know, what I want to start by saying is that we've been conditioned through the education system to not fail, and so we have a fear of failing, which is, I think, one of the biggest failures with the educational system, because once you actually get out into the world, the people that are most successful are the people that fail the most, right? The people that are willing to try and stumble and keep doing it. And that's taught out of us, which is an actual shame. So what I want you to be okay with is if you forget something, like if you just completely, if you're not good at tests, you completely freeze and trash this thing, we'll look at it, we'll go back to you and say, all right, do this over, or check this out, or, you know, so we'll work with you, because it's more important that you can, it's less important that you can regurgitate this information right now than it is to understand the bigger concept of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the 8 limb paths? Why are they important? Not just to spout them out for a test, to pass a test. It doesn't matter, right? But be able to really understand why they're there. Why do we want to incorporate them into our life, right? The methodology. Why is the methodology important, right? To understand it on that level. And I hope if you didn't get that stuff, that's our fault, right? If it didn't sink in, that's our fault, right? And so this is really like, this test is more to see where we, how well we performed than how well you guys are performing. So anyway, so let's do it. So at the top of that page, first thing is 8 limb path. English and Sanskrit. Sanskrit spelling, don't worry about the spelling, just make it as phonetically close as possible. So 8 limb path, English and Sanskrit. The first 2 limbs have 5 sublimbs. Put the 5 sublimbs in, please.
Do we go ahead and go?
Let's give them all, and then let them resolve.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you guys everything.
Different places, and we have to interrupt people.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll give you everything, and then you guys can just rock and roll with it. Okay, so that one, vertical stabilization, just the bullet points for vertical stabilization, and then what does it organize?
What was that?
Vertical stabilization, the bullet points, and then what does it organize?
Oh.
You're welcome. 2 forms of energy. And then what do they organize? And with the 2 forms of energy, just a brief description of what they mean. You don't have to go through the 3 actual ways of doing it, just a brief description. So X energy, it's this, right? The kind of overall understanding of it. Lines of the body, what they organize. Five principles of class composition. And then the breakdown of either a vinyasa class or niyata class, depending on what your main focus is. Right? So if you guys have been super focused on the niyata, stability, a breakdown of that. If you're super focused on vinyasa, a breakdown of that. Just to really, I want to see that you understand the breakdown of a class. So in the breakdown of a class, it's the name of each step, pinnacle of each step, lines of focus for each step. And I can go through that again if anyone needs it.
Would you mind just hitting one more time? After the 2 forms of energy, what did you want us?
After 2 forms of energy, lines of the body and what they organize. And then after that was 5 principles of class composition. And then the breakdown of a class. And just let us know which class, vinyasa or nyata, which one you're breaking down. I mean, it'd be kind of obvious, but, and it's the name of each step, pinnacle of each step, lines of focus for each step. Does anybody need to hear those one more time? You guys good? All right, feel free to ask me if anything comes up. How about Zoomers? Zoomers, do you guys need to hear that again at all?
No, I'm writing it in.
Okay, cool. And as you finish, when you finish, just tear out the page and just bring it up to us.
Or Zoomers, just email me and I'll grab it. Zoomers, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. I just realized if you had tried and I didn't hear you, I just realized I had mute on my laptop.